From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger, Weather NorCal. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. You know, we got dry and mild conditions here through most of the week. It's low clouds, some fog probably developing here later tonight into tomorrow for the coast for your Wednesday and your Thursday, but of course it'll be sunny pretty much everywhere else, at least through Thursday midday, because by Thursday afternoon, the clouds are really going to start to kind of come in advance of the next storm system. And speaking of that, that's Friday. And really, as early as Thursday night, we're seeing the rain move in, but it's overall Friday when we see that rain really begin to kind of push on through. Now, with that wet weather pattern that's starting, it's going to last through the weekend, and still some uncertainty with what's going to happen for Monday, Tuesday of next week. But that wet weather pattern may even last into next week. Looking at your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance, temperatures low 60s for the valley. We've got 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. And for the coast, temperatures low 50s. Pretty much everyone looking at mainly sunny skies. The winds, they've been calm. They'll be calm again here for your Wednesday as well. But as the storm system approaches on Thursday, the winds are picking up for the coast, central Siskiyou County, and even a little breezy elsewhere. And the winds probably be picking up even more by Thursday night and Friday. But the overall pattern that we've been dealing with here is this. You see this? This is what we call a ridge of high pressure. Essentially, when we have high pressure over us, especially this time of the year, or really any time of the year, it doesn't allow any storms to move in. Basically, the storm systems hit a brick wall, they break apart, move up and over the ridge, and we remain dry. That's the pattern we've been dealing with here for the last 3 weeks. But now, we're seeing signs that this ridge shifting eastward, and that's going to open the door for any storm system over the Pacific to move on in. So let's take a look at futurecasts and when we expect some of that rain to move in. First and foremost, there's that fog developing in Humboldt Bay later on this evening. Then the fog begins to develop, especially for Wednesday morning along the coast. Maybe a little bit of fog down to the south, by the way, but that should be mainly south of us into the Sacramento region. And then through the day on Wednesday, you've got the fog, maybe even making its way into some of those inland valleys, hugging the coast there. Otherwise, sunny skies everywhere else. Beautiful weather in store for us with those calm winds. But check out Thursday. So Thursday morning, we got the fog through the midday. We're starting to see those high clouds begin to filter on in. Here's the rain moving closer. Now, by 5 p.m., late in the afternoon, early evening, we may start to see some light showers hitting parts of the coast. And then it just comes right on through. And we're beginning to see that rain coming in by Thursday night. Snow levels starting off probably somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. Yeah, so places like Mount Shasta, you may see some snow, probably more like a mix. El Turris, you may see a little bit of snow, maybe out towards Bernie. Again, maybe more like a mix, but we're going to be in that borderline between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. So that's going to be the start of it. And then, of course, more to come as we go into Thursday afternoon, Friday, through the weekend, right? So, Friday night, that is. Well, actually, so what we're looking at was Thursday night. That's right. I was a little confused there when I was looking at that map. Thursday night is when it starts, moves through the day on Friday, and then, of course, the weekend. All right. We got that cleared out. So, again, what we're seeing here, this is the ridge of high pressure that's blocking the storm systems I was talking about, right? What happens is this storm system would typically butt up against the ridge, moving up and over. But watch what happens. This area of high pressure is moving on over. It's saying, all right, I'll move over for you. And then the rain starts to move in by Thursday night, and there it is on Friday, okay? Then you can see as we go into Saturday, Sunday, look at how we're seeing this constant stream of moisture. What does that mean? Well, some of you like to call it a Pineapple Express, but technically it's called an atmospheric river. And so it's showing signs of an atmospheric river that's moving on in. That's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, plenty of moisture to work with. That means we've got rain that's heading our way. Number two, since it's an atmospheric river, it's typically coming in from the southwest. It's a warmer source of moisture that tends to mix out any cold air that we may have in place. As a result, our snow levels begin to climb. So higher snow levels with this system as it moves on through. Then we got to watch this area of low pressure right here and the moisture that's coming in from the south and west, because this could mean lowering snow levels, especially by Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. But we've got to position this area of low pressure properly, and we've got to have it tap into that moisture as well. So we'll deal with that in the days to come. But in the meantime, let's deal with the storm system that is moving on through in the atmospheric river that we're dealing with. Right? So you can see that the moisture content, it's been dry, folks, and that's why we're seeing the very dry conditions out there. But what we've got coming our way is this right here. When you start seeing these colors right here, that's a very healthy stream of moisture or atmospheric river. And then as it veers off to the east, it kind of weakens a little bit, but still plenty of moisture that's aimed at us. And then you can still see it's aimed at Northern California through Monday of next week. Again, atmospheric river. Coming in from the southwest, it's warmer, and that's why our snow levels will be fairly high. See, it kind of shifts a little bit to the south as that area of low pressure starts to dive to the south. But this may be able to tap into this and then come right back into Northern California. We'll see. But again, for now, we got to deal with the system that we're dealing with right now, and at least in the next few days. So if you're new to this channel, do note that I do not use the term atmospheric river as a scare tactic. You need to understand, and a lot of people, a lot of sources that tell you about atmospheric rivers don't tell you about the categories of atmospheric rivers. Atmospheric 1 is the weakest, atmospheric 5 is the strongest. Now, if you watched this morning, we were mainly in just the atmospheric river 1. But look at this, we're actually getting back up into the atmospheric river 2 category. Typically not anything to worry about terribly. However, when we do start getting into that, we do start seeing the potential for mudslides, debris flows, and even some minor flooding in flood-prone areas. So when you start seeing us get into the green, atmospheric river 2, let's say you live in a flood-prone area, this is when you need to start paying attention. If you're traveling in the mountain highways, do note that there could be some mudslides and debris flows, especially in the burn-scarred areas over not only this last year, but over the last several years. So just something to kind of pay attention to as we get closer to the time frame of the storm system. Now, speaking of the time frame, one thing you may notice here at Weather NorCal is I don't show you, especially with wet weather, I don't show you snowfall totals any time past 3 days. Now, there's a reason for that, because several reasons, really. Number one, the forecast models tend to have a very difficult time forecasting snow and even rainfall because of our unique terrain, right? We have so many changes in elevation with the mountains. It can wreak havoc with a estimated forecast as far as how much rain and snow we're going to see. So here's what we do. Here's how we forecast the snow. Number one, looking 6 days out, this is when we're paying attention. We're observing a pattern for potential snow and rain, a potential storm in general. But at this point, I don't even want to think about showing you snow or even, quite honestly, rainfall totals. It's just too far out. And the totals can sometimes be way off. Sometimes it may be pretty close, but it's just one of those things. You've just got to watch it closely. Now, as we go to 4 to 5 days out, we're looking for consistency. Do the forecast models agree? Does it all make sense? This is when maybe I'll start showing the potential for the amount of rainfall, but I still don't feel good about showing you snowfall totals at this point. It's 2 to 3 days out, we start gaining confidence. All right, we're saying, all right, we can start looking at the approximate timing, snow levels, and even snow totals. This is when I may start showing you some estimates on snow, but still kind of saying, hey, listen, we still need to watch this closely. The numbers will most likely change. It's 0 or the day of or the day before that it's a call to action. This is when we can start getting into more of the specifics. Timing, location, and the overall impacts. How much snow will we see? And will there be chain requirements? These are all things that we take into account. So just note, and I'll try to bring this map out every once in a while, share it on social media, so you have an idea what goes into a snow forecast. Because if there's one thing that it just bothers me when I see on social media or anywhere else, when the storm is like 6, 7 days out, even 8 days out, and the person presenting or showing the weather or giving you the weather forecast shows you snowfall totals that far out, don't even think about looking at those numbers and saying that's how much snow we're going to see. It's just, even if it's said, hey, these numbers can change, don't take them to be, take them with a grain of salt, it's just not a good idea in my opinion. That's where I stand when it comes to that. I mean, you can go to these other places and they can tell you and you can say, oh, that's what I wanted to see. But it's never going to be an accurate, very rarely, let's put it that way, very rarely will it be an accurate representation of what we'll actually see. In fact, to give you an idea, this morning, the projected ski park snow totals were looking more like 10 to 20 inches. I said it was on the conservative side. I was thinking maybe these numbers would change. 15 to 30 inches now. That's what the latest forecast models are showing there. And here too, Mount Shasta was showing, I was showing 0, actually a bit of trace. Now I'm up to 1 to 2. If it's cold enough, Friday, that could bring some snow to Mount Shasta. Just a light dusting, right, obviously. And of course, Chester, maybe a little bit of snow too. But snow levels will probably start off around 3,500 feet, give or take, and then they'll climb by the time we do get into the weekend. Now again, rainfall tends to be a little bit more accurate when we're looking at the long range. So this is looking at the 7-day outlook. It's going to be a little off here, but it's showing the overall trend here. We do have a little bit of shadowing, but still some decent rain for the southern end of the valley. Much less rainfall off to the east. This is where the bulk of the rain is going to be, right? To the north and west of the valley. North and west of the valley is where we see the heaviest amount of rain entering the picture here. So that's something to look forward to. As far as rainfall, we could use it, right? All right, so here's what we have in store for us for your Tuesday. Temperatures in the low 60s for your daytime highs today in the valley, 40s, even 50s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, you'll be looking at those temperatures somewhere in the low to even mid-50s. 7-day forecast for the valley, dry through Thursday, showers off and on here for Friday through the weekend. Still a little bit iffy as to what's exactly going to happen here for Monday, Tuesday of next week, but I'm going to keep that chance for showers in there for Monday and even Tuesday of next week. Let's take a look at the coast forecast here. Of course, is the inland and Trinity County as well. Snow level starting off 3,000 feet, then up to about 4,000 to 5,000 feet after that as we go to Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You'll notice the snow levels are also climbing for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. And why is that? Again, because we're dealing with an atmospheric river. And that will mix out any cold air we have in place, and that's going to allow not only our snow levels to rise, but look at the temperatures. The temperatures are also increasing as a result. All right, that's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6. Have yourselves a great afternoon.
Caltrans is doing the best that they can with the amount of people and the amount of equipment they have, and they're out there trying to keep the roads safe and trying to keep everybody running, because if the roads shut down, truck drivers that are paid by the miles aren't making any money. So we want everybody to put chains on for the safety of themselves and the safety of the public. It's not worth it to drive without chains.